In Bangladesh, prostitution is a huge industry. There are 200,000 women in the sex trade, and many of those pressed into the business are barely into their teens. Disturbingly, many girls are also forced to take steroids to make them look older or more attractive, with devastating side effects. Kesha West has the story.
This is Dhaka, the bustling capital of Bangladesh. While the economies of developed countries continue to falter, the United Nations says Bangladesh is a rising star in the world economy, with growth rates of around 6 to 7%. But despite the country's apparent good fortune, the majority of its people remain incredibly poor. And for far too many women and girls, day-to-day life is confined within the walls of a brothel. In Bangladesh, it's not uncommon to find an entire neighbourhood made up of brothels.
There are over 200,000 women who are working in the sex industry across 18 legal brothels. We also know that women are living in very cramped conditions. They live in the brothels where they're controlled by the madam of the brothel and gross denial of most human rights.
This is one of the largest brothels in Bangladesh. More than 500 women and girls live and work here. Many were born in the brothel and inevitably go on to become sex workers like their mothers.
There's an element of, the profession being passed down, but at the same time I think we need to realise that women are excluded from society when they start working in brothels in Bangladesh. So it's more a function of that exclusion from mainstream Bangladeshi society that is leading to that situation, rather than anything to do with choice from the women who are actually working in those brothels.
Although some of the women here are private prostitutes earning money for themselves, in many cases the girls are bonded sex workers, either trafficked or sold by their families to a madam for a price. But with often hundreds of girls working in one brothel, competition is fierce, and many girls are forced to take a steroid to make them appear older or more attractive to clients.
This drug's really been manufactured for use in fattening cows, so it's not a drug that's really been designed for human consumption.
Known in Bangladesh as Orodexon, its generic name is dexamethasone, a steroid like those used to treat everything from asthma to arthritis and some forms of cancer.
It's the what percent?
Professor Eric Morand has been working with steroids for about 20 years at the Centre for Inflammatory Diseases at Monash University. He says that taking steroids over a prolonged period can cause serious health problems.
It's very harmful to use in high doses, and dexamethasone is the most potent type of steroid that's available. And the side effects do include weight gain, and people who gain weight would also potentially have high blood pressure, high blood sugar or diabetes, thinning and fragility of the skin, and increased infections, and in the long term osteoporosis and bone fractures.
One Bangladeshi doctor we spoke to told us 90% of sex workers in the country use Orodexon regularly.
It's a very burning issue, the use of Orodexon among all sex workers, particularly the young group.
Dr. Utpal says Bangladeshi girls as young as 10 are now using the drug.
That's an even bigger problem because it has important effects on the bone that can reduce growth. Although you can gain weight, gain fatty tissue, it may limit your vertical growth, and that's something you don't get back.
Disturbingly, the women that use the drug and the madams that force their girls to take it are often well aware of the risks. ActionAid first raised the alarm about the extent of Orodexon's use among Bangladeshi sex workers several years ago. Since then, it's been working to educate the girls about the dangers of taking the steroid. But ActionAid says it's an uphill battle and admits it's made little progress.
sex workers are earning only $1 or $2 a day sometimes in Bangladesh. So if this is something that increases your income, that's something that you want to pursue as a sex worker in Bangladesh. And at the same time, there's also the coercion element. I mean, the women are regularly beaten by the pimps and the madams if they're not taking that drug because they don't get a take or a share of the earnings.
Professor Eric Moran says even if the girls wanted to get off Orodexon, it would be extremely difficult.
It is dangerous to stop suddenly, and people don't feel well when they don't take it. And so, although it's not addictive, if you've been on it for a while, you're likely to keep taking it because you feel bad when you don't.
The reality is, while the drug is so accessible, there's little chance of stopping its misuse. In Bangladesh, Orodexon is unregulated and can be bought easily at pharmacies or obtained from unscrupulous doctors. ActionAid says without government help, especially with regulating and enforcing the sale of Orodexon, it's impossible to target the supply chain or help the tens of thousands of sex workers across Bangladesh now hooked on the steroid.